Good Wednesday afternoon. Jerry Miller, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. It's great to be with you. So much to cover on this, the anniversary of August 12th. We have streets blockaded and blocked off right now. We have what I think is going to be a peaceful protest set for Market Street Park, formerly Lee Park. August 12th, and you can certainly feel it downtown at our headquarters in the Macklin building right on Market Street, literally between the police station and Lee Park. We're a stone's throw away, and you can feel it in the air. It's Wednesday. We'll cover that on the I Love CVille Show. We'll talk about Blacksburg and what appears to be Blacksburg throttling its economy, and what appears to me certainly is a lot of the maneuvers that we've seen from Albemarle County and the city of Charlottesville with limiting restaurant capacity, especially around midnight, is now reality in Blacksburg. And that's completely because students are returning to the city for the school year at Virginia Tech. We'll cover those on the I Love CVille Show. For 2 straight weeks, we've seen record low mortgage rates. Literally, this is the second week, and this week just beat last week, and last week was a record. So now we've made records with mortgage rates for 2 weeks in a row. We'll cover that in a 30, 45-second standpoint to kind of update you on opportunities for you to buy a home. I think it's an incredibly important decision and certainly the jumpstart for generational wealth, the purchase of a home and going from renter to owner. We'll talk about that on the show. William & Mary leadership, the top 3 in fact, at William & Mary in Williamsburg, I grew up in Williamsburg, have announced that they will volunteer and take pay cuts on their own accord, 15% for the president, 12% for number 2 and number 3. The top 3 are also going to take a volunteered furlough, and they are doing this because the college is really in a pickle financially, like many in America. Higher education being challenged. In fact, the president of William & Mary said, "I've never been challenged in my education career like I have this summer." That really puts that in perspective. So we'll have that story for you today on the I Love CVille Show. We have an interview with Harvey Mayorga of Guajiros. He and his brothers and his family have taken a Miami eatery that has phenomenal Cuban food and phenomenal Cuban sandwiches, and they've taken this eatery and they're expanding it to West Main. And we have that story for you on the I Love CVille Show. We're going to be covering a hydroponics plan for Goochland County. That's a $17 million investment, a plan that's going to create ample jobs, more than 20 jobs created through a $17 million green-lighted plan for a hydroponic greenhouse in Goochland County. We will anticipate what could potentially go in this hydroponic greenhouse in Goochland County to the tune of $17 million. I do love it's creating jobs. Mayor Stoney of Richmond, if you follow the news out of Richmond, I do closely. He recently wrote a letter in the last 36 hours to the Virginia General Assembly, basically outlining why marijuana should be legalized and taxed. So we have mayors, we have general assemblies, we have governors, and we have a budget across the Commonwealth and at local municipalities that are cash-strapped than ever before. So rather than increasing taxes upon us, perhaps innovative, outside-the-box, creative, enterprising, entrepreneurial ideas should be considered instead. One of them is taking something that is essentially legalized but taxed not at all, and that is cannabis, and making it something that from a retail standpoint you can control, similar to an ABC standpoint at the liquor store. So that story coming up for you on the I Love CVille Show. Barbara Lundgren in about 50 minutes or so We'll get your comments in multiple portions of the show. So if you have comments on anything we're talking about, DM them, send them to me on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, email, text. You can put them in the comments section on Facebook. That's the go-to method. And when I get to the mention viewer user comments on screen, you'll see it on the right. I will read them on air. So I want to first mention our partners at Ting. And Ting, guys, is offering all of us an opportunity to save $288 for fiber internet. So get the link on screen, and that's ilovecville.ting.com. That is the most affordable option you have for fiber internet in Charlottesville through this link. You're saving $288. Judah Wickhauer is our fabulous director. Before we run headlines, do me the favor and hit the like button now. Do me the favor, hit the like button, share it, and tell your friends about this program, because in the next 50 minutes or so, I think you're going to learn more about your community than anywhere else you can, and you'll do it in an ear candy or digestible fashion, very approachable fashion. Judah Wickhauer, you're a fabulous director. Let's go to the studio cam first, and then the Judah camera, and give them a wave to everybody, and then let me know with a finger back for headlines, because we love having you as part of the team. All right, Judah Wickhauer right there. There's Judah. Wow, you got the finger point from Judah. Wow, I love the finger point. I like the swagger of the finger point, Judah. Kelly Lewis, hello. Johnny, hello. Welcome to the broadcast. Look at Judah on the finger point right there. Thank you for sharing, Kelly Lewis. All right, let's run some headlines. Judah, you ready to do this? I'm ready to lock and load too. All right, guys, this first headline, the anniversary of August 12th in Charlottesville, Virginia, a date that Charlottesvillians will carry close to their heart for years, decades, and generations to come. The mood and the energy downtown is very real. It's not as fluid. It's a little more cautious. We have 4th Street blocked off and barricaded right now. Judah, do you have those photos? Those are on screen. Please look at the screen. I just took this before the show. So 4th Street, Heather Heyer Way is blocked off. We have a gathering planned now for Market Street Park. Literally is happening as we speak. 1 o'clock start, people gathering there. I just walked through Market Street Park, and I saw an area for a prayer area. On the Facebook page, Congregate CVille, in very organized fashion, they've planned what appears to be a very peaceful gathering in Market Street Park. They've asked for photography not to happen. They also have asked for no police presence. They've included a gateway link for funding and donations. And they've given clear outlines of the PPE, the mask and whatnot that you should wear while attending the event that runs to roughly 7 o'clock. So the mood and the energy is somber and palpable in downtown Charlottesville. And I want to reflect on some of the changes that I've seen in 3 years. I remember being literally in front of the Macklin building on 4th Street in front of Lee Park 3 years ago. With my own 2 eyes, saw destruction and despair that I've never seen. I witnessed evil. And I've said many times on the show, I'm a God-fearing person. And in my 30-plus years on this planet, I'd never seen evil like this, where people were being hit with bats and derogatory names were screamed at people because of the color of their skin, and machine guns, assault rifles that I've only seen in like the iteration of maybe one with my buddy, just one friend having one. Assault rifles and machine guns just being everywhere downtown, I saw with my eyes. I kind of fibbed to my wife at the time, and I said I was going to go to ACAC. Instead, I went downtown. I was very fortunate to leave right before what I call, and Judah disagrees with me on this, but to leave right before what I call was a terroristic attack, with a man driving 8 hours from Ohio to ram a car, a Charger, through people on 4th Street, now Heather Heyer Way, and this man now in jail for the rest of his life. What could be going through his head? I cannot predict or even understand, frankly. Frankly, and I hate to say this, and it's just a reflection of me being human, I don't even have pity that he will be spending the rest of his time behind bars. That's a topic for another day. Anywho, what change have we seen? We've seen the concept of affordable housing being more on the tip of people's tongues than ever. We still see some affordable housing funding happening during a pandemic. That's a positive that have come from this. A positive that has come from A12 is affordable housing is more topical and conversating and more in the news cycle and the conversation cycle than ever before. Now, do we still have a housing crisis? And is it still as expensive as all get out to live in Charlottesville? Oh, yeah. I mean, it is astronomically expensive to live here. And that's a direct reflection of the limit of stock, the limit of supply of housing we have. Charlottesville is built to capacity. 10 square miles and change. Albemarle County is only utilizing 5% of the county for development. When you have such strict limitations on housing, the cost of it's going to increase. And you're going to be left in an affordable housing pinch. And that's where we're at. So while it's more topical than ever, and while we've had funding for affordable housing, much because of August 12th and the conversations that have manifested from August 12th 3 years ago, I still don't see a true, real penetration or dent or like actual success story for affordable housing big picture. So talk is good. Action, we'll grade it at a C. Now, City Council and the Board of Supervisors have changed dramatically. You have 3 new councilors in Charlottesville. You have new boards of supervisors. So you have new leadership in play, and you hope that percolates and creates new ideas. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But they certainly have been handcuffed by a pandemic to roll out new concepts. And 2020 has caused, unfortunately, COVID has caused not much progress or forward momentum in key issues like affordable housing, like social justice, like racial equality, like compensation, fair compensation across the board, like trying to close a wealth and social gap that's permeated for generations and decades. If anything, the efforts that we're making are somewhat being hushed, or what do you do to a fire, Judah, when you're trying to get it out?
Tamp it down?
Yeah. Damp it down a little bit.
Tamp
it down. Thank you. So, still more to go. And we'll talk about it and follow it closely on the I Love CVille show. A date that will forever be close to us and always have meaning. The next headline's got to come out of Blacksburg. And much like the Charlottesville City Council and much like the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors, leadership in the city of Blacksburg is tremendously concerned with the return of students. And as you look on screen, you'll see that Blacksburg is throttling the reopening of its economy by limiting restaurants to capacity limits, 50 people or less. And the restaurant or bar has to close down at midnight or earlier. So that critical window for a local establishment, especially in a college town, that critical window, that booze window of midnight to 2, midnight to 1:50, midnight to 1:45, whenever last call is at the particular watering hole. And that's a window where it's like heavy booze sales when you're busy, not food. You're going straight. You're making some money on your margin, and your good margin is your booze. Your beers, your wines, your spirits. That's your good margin in the restaurant business. Blacksburg's saying, dogs, pump the brakes. You got to close at midnight. You can't have your good window midnight to 1:50, 1:55. This is like the corner of Blacksburg, the corner of UVA is what we're talking here. You're not going to have your good window, and you got to have less than 50 people in your joint. I understand why they're nervous, because the students are coming back, and they don't want to see a Midsummer's in Charlottesville on their corner, their heartbeat. But it hurts. It hurts the businesses that are now just clawing their way out of something and seeing some daylight and seeing students on the horizon, especially with sports. And sports on the back end of this show, I mean, you saw the Big Ten and you saw the Pac-12, 2 of the Power 5 cancel. You got 3 left of the Power 5, the Big 12, the ACC, and the SEC. Those 3 as of now are going forward. We'll talk about that impact at the bottom of this program. But Blacksburg throttling reopening because of the return of the students, very similar approach, a hybrid 2.0, 3.0 phase for the city of Blacksburg with Hokie students returning. Now, the next headline is one that I think we're going to start expecting. Now, before we get to that headline, which is William & Mary, let me go to the mortgage rate headline. You got that on screen, Judah? Mortgage rates?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Judah Wick, our fabulous director. All right, guys. This is the second straight week that we've got a record-breaking number with the mortgage rates, with 30-year fixed rates. I mean, dudes, guys, ladies, if you're looking, I'm going to spend 20 seconds on this because I emphasize this a lot on the show, and then I'm going to move to something else. If you're looking for a home to buy, you have opportunities now that you'll never see in your lifetime. Interest rates are obscenely, dirtly, ridiculously low. Almost like, how are they this low? It's like getting money from a bank and having an interest on this money from the bank so low that it's like, yeah, I'll borrow this money and I'm not going to pay much juice back on it. Get a chance to buy a house. And we learned from Keith Smith in Real Talk, an insider's guide to real estate life in the pursuit of happiness. That show airs Tuesdays and Fridays on the I Love CVille Network at 10:15 a.m. We learned from him that you could go to a neighborhood like Lake Monticello, gated community in Fluvanna County with very little to no money down, and you can qualify for certain loan vehicles and buy your first time home and get from a renting standpoint to an owning standpoint, and your mortgage payment will be less than what you're paying in rent. This is a no freaking brainer. All right. Real estate, I'm passionate about. It means a lot to me. I've been able to build a great base of diversified revenue streams and huge future earning potential, and generate, I'll cut to the chase, and generational wealth through real estate. Do the same. That's all I'm saying. Just do the same. All right, William & Mary, headline out of Williamsburg, my old stomping grounds. William & Mary, the College of William & Mary, its top 3 positions. Interestingly, and let's champion what I'm about to say, the top 3 positions at William & Mary, the College of William & Mary, all women. So kudos to William & Mary, kudos to leadership at this school, and it's a phenomenal school. I went to UVA, but when I was coming up, and I don't know if this is the case still now, I went to UVA. When I was coming up, the entry requirements to William & Mary was a little stiffer than UVA, just slightly stiffer. Now, more people were applying to UVA than William & Mary, which because of that extra application volume made it extremely competitive to get in, fortunate to get in early admission. But when I was growing up, the metrics were a bit stiffer. But the top 3 positions, first thing I'm going to highlight, it's a positive. We need to champion women in the workforce in a COVID-19 landscape more than ever. And more on that in a second. But the top 3 positions at William & Mary are women. All 3 are volunteering to take a pay cut and furloughs. The president of the school is volunteering a 15% pay cut. Number 2 and number 3 are volunteering 12% pay cuts. They're also volunteering furloughs, where you basically take time off and don't get paid. That shows you the financial difficulty this school is in Williamsburg, that otherwise we know to be rich in money and in endowment, and in prestige, and in legacy, and in credibility. William & Mary is a bona fide, legitimate, phenomenal school. Okay? So when the top 3 are doing this, you know they're in a pinch. And this isn't even one that's like a Power 5 one. This is just a small one with not nearly the overhead. Kudos to William & Mary, and where I was going to say with championing women in the workforce now more than ever, my fear, and do some research on this, my fear is because of the virtual learning requirements COVID is creating for our youth. Basically, kids are going to have to learn online through a computer. Someone is going to have to supervise these children as they're at home Monday through Friday, learning from the kitchen table through their computer. My fear is the burden of this supervision and the burden of this, you're going to be the teacher for the kids, at least this semester, is unfortunately and unfairly, but realistically, going to fall on the wife and the mother. And I fear that this is going to have, from a big picture standpoint, when we reflect, it is going to have, if we're not mindful, an impact on a generation, or at least a year and change, and that's a long time when you're clocking 30, 25 in a workforce. It's going to impact, I'll say, a generation of women potentially from earning potential, promotional, vertical, climbing the ladder, job status potential. And I don't want to see a setback there. I don't want to see a setback there. Oh, COVID, you COVID SOB. Top 3 at William & Mary taking pay cuts, wow. And volunteered furloughs. All right, the next headline is an intriguing one. Harvey, we're going to get to you here in a matter of moments. I haven't forgotten about you, Harvey. Harvey Mayorga is going to join us. Ownership of Guajiros, Miami Eatery, a phenomenal eatery next to Coors Brothers on Route 29. They are moving. They are expanding. A restaurant that is expanding and growing its operations in COVID. When we expand and grow in COVID, we champion and spotlight and give them props on this network. And this family deserves it. He will join us. I'm going to ask him how the menu will change, what his plans are for outside seating, if he's going to keep the other location open, what his thoughts are expanding in a COVID landscape, and the future of restaurants. Harvey's going to join us in 60 seconds. Before we get to him, I want to give some love to Interstate Pest and Service Companies. It is a 4-generation strong business. Judah, let's give them some love. Interstate Pest and Service Companies, they are a home's best friend. I've seen how they treat their customers and their team members alike. Interstate Pest and Service Companies. All right, one more headline. There's a $17 million hydroponic greenhouse plan for Goochland County. Did you see this headline? Many of you don't. I love that you guys are counting on this for your news. You can rely on us to give you a strong product. 17 million. This from the Roanoke Times today. I read all of the Virginia newspapers, start to finish. Subscribe to at least 10 or 12 media outlets. I think the number was 11. The company is Greenswell Growers, Inc. They're planning to invest more than $17 million to open a new commercial hydroponic greenhouse in Goochland County. West Creek Business Park, in fact, in Goochland County. This is going to create, boys and girls, 27 new jobs. They're going to produce nearly $3.7 million of, Judah, one shot on me this, 3.7 million pounds of leafy greens. Leafy greens. 3.7 million pounds of leafy greens. So the company also will donate 5% of its area production to food banks. So certainly starting from a food production standpoint, vegetables production standpoint, but you are seeing the infrastructure in place for what Mayor Stoney is trying to push through the Virginia Assembly. If you watched a couple days ago, Stoney, through his Mayor of Richmond legal paper, he he writes a letter to the Virginia Assembly saying, look, it's time to legalize cannabis, we need to tax it, and we need to use this incremental or new revenue stream to help supplement or offset budget deficits caused by COVID across the Commonwealth and down to the local level. It's a good plan. So infrastructure now being built in Virginia to potentially capitalize on something that is already coming down the pipe. In fact, this infrastructure already exists in Virginia. Let's see what happens, but $17 million investment and 27 new jobs for Goochland County. They have an internship program lined up with Goochland County High School already. So I love to see the enterprising and the thinking that's going on there. Give the show a like and a share. If you have any comments, put them in the comment section, and we will relay them on air. Judah, I would like to reach out to Harvey now and catch up with a man whose family business is expanding. I'm Skyping him now, J-Dubs. When you're expanding and you're in the restaurant game and it's at COVID, you deserve to get some credit. And we're going to give Harvey some credit. We're going to ask him some questions, and we're just going to pick his brain. We love his food. We love his family. I have him on the line. If you could get that camera live for us. Oh, awesome, Harvey. Thank you. We see you. J-Dubs, give me the heads up to welcome him in there. All right, I'm getting that from Judah. Harvey, how are you?
What's going on?
We're doing well. We're doing well. So give us the news. What's the news?
So it's official now. We are relocating Guajiros Miami Eatery to the West Main Street area.
Where are you guys going, Harvey?
817 West Main Street. Basically, it's where Parallel 38 used to be, right next to the tracks.
Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Talk to us about the reasoning behind expanding.
Man, so it's a lot of things got our reasons for this. Since the beginning, we wanted to obviously expand, grow within the community, but COVID made us make the decision. The current spot where we at, very limited outdoor seating. As we all know, in the next couple of years, the norm is going to be outdoor seating. So trying to do that. Came out of nowhere. We saw the sign, kind of took us a minute to get a hold of the person in charge of the realtor, and eventually we were able to put everything together. So finally signed all the paperwork, and then super excited and ready to go as soon as we finish off all the permits and stuff.
Congratulations. I love the spot.
Thank you.
You're in a dining district now, as you know. I mean, West Main Street is just straight baller when it comes to food. I think a lot of the foodies that were going to West Main and that maybe went to a Public or Maya and saw in 1 hour wait, I think a lot of those are now going to go to potentially Guajiros and try your food for the first time. These are food, folks that love food and go downtown and maybe West Main only. How about the pressure that comes with going to West Main and knowing that you got to bring your A+ game now all the time when you're next to Oak Heart Socials and the Publix and the Mayas of the world?
Jesus Christ, man, you have no idea. So a lot of kudos to those people. I don't think I'm close to what the level of the type of restaurant yet. We're a small eatery. We do things just like them with a lot of passion. And kind of learning as we go. My brothers and I, we have a lot of experience in the restaurant business, but this is a family business. Kind of trying to build our name in the community, though. So we are increasing a lot of things, changing a few things. First and foremost, the bar. That's kind of my expertise there. So that's we're adding a new bar. I'm working on a fantastic cocktail menu. All fresh ingredients, fresh juices, very tropical. So not particularly tiki, but a lot of rum forward drinks, between amongst everything else. You have your regular drinks as well, but a lot of tropical style of drinks, definitely rum forward. We're changing the menu. The breakfast and lunch is going to be still served all day. We're going to open. Still debating, but we're trying to open around 6:30, 7 a.m. to get the early crowds, the nurses that are coming in. Everybody is from the hospital, university, but also run through dinner as well. And then that's where a lot of the changes are going to come in. The dinner is going to change completely. We're going to have new items on the menu, still within our Latin American influences, though, but adding more options.
You're going to go from 6:30 a.m. through dinner?
Man, it's the only way.
You guys are such ballers. I am so impressed with that. I can't wait to try you guys at dinner on like a Thursday night. How about your plans for the outside seating? Because you got some dope seating there.
That's where everything is going to happen, though. We are right now. The plan is only to use the first floor. There's plans on. So we have two floors. There are plans on the second floor that are going to come in the future. But right now, the concept is the first floor where the bar area is and the outdoor seating. Though that's still keeping everything within the requirements of our. Phase, I think 3 is we are right now. At this point, I don't even know. But keeping all the requirements for COVID. This is where the magic is going to happen in the outside.
You're going to kill it, man. I mean, his drinks, dude, his cocktails are so legit. And their food is like so legit too. Like seriously, it's priced well. It's like they price it fairly and then the food is good. One of our friends, our common friend, he comes into Guajiros all the time, Michael Guthrie. He lives right around the corner from you guys. He's bummed because you're moving here because he loves your restaurant so much and it's right by his house. He mentioned to me, this is how small town Charlottesville is. I saw Michael in here. I'm like, Michael, are they going to keep both locations? And Michael likes Guajiros more than me, and I freaking love Guajiros. And Michael goes, no, man, I'm bummed. They're leaving. And it's right next to my neighborhood. So that's how I found out it wasn't both, right? Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, we were trying to keep both open, but with everything going on, I don't think it's doable or smart to do it. We were going to put 100% of our effort on this location, and then just go all out over here though. So we're just going to be here.
Does your menu expand? How so? And how so? With what items?
We're still working on it, but it's definitely expanding. We're thinking a lot more like dinner style foods. So we're thinking
because you're sandwich based now. For anyone who hasn't been here, you're sandwich based now.
We have sandwiches. It's our main item, but we have some like we call it the mom's platter, which is the like traditional Nicaraguan rice and beans mixed with like a protein and a side. We're from there on. We're expanding that though. So there's gonna be like lomo saltado. We've been it's a Peruvian dish. We're gonna do. We've been selling on a on and off basis, kind of like weekends only, like ceviche. So I'm expanding the ceviche portion of it. Like I'm gonna have maybe like fish 3 ways or something like that. It's a work in progress. Talking to a couple of like chef friends of mine on their recommendations. Now hiring, by the way, if anybody who's watching and is looking for a job, we are hiring everything, front of the house, back of the house, kitchen, dishwasher, everything. So definitely expanding the menu for more of a dinner style food, not only a sandwich, but a sit down kind of like a meal if you want to, more appetizers, more like kind of like to sharing style foods, et cetera, et cetera. So,
cool, dude. I think you're going to crush it, Harvey. I mean, your food is banging. I mean, one of the things that I always love about going into Guajiros is one of you guys is always there. It's like, yes, there's the owner, and that's why your food is like, the standard is so legit. It does not slip. It's consistent, which is good. How about the pressure you were feeling doing this? Were you guys freaking out at all?
Oof.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Every day. But like I always say, man, I've said this before in the show. It's like, man, either you do it or you don't. It's just go all out and take take the shot. And if there's a place to do it, it's Charlottesville, man. The community's been great. When we did the announcement, I think it's the most interactions we've had in our Facebook and Instagram platforms. I don't know how many comments. Over 200 likes. It's like a lot of interaction, and most, if not all of it, was like super excited about you guys. A lot of people are bummed that we're gonna move from that location to here because they don't like to, or they don't find it too easy to find parking or whatever. So they are bummed, but but most of it's like people being super supportive about our decision, though. So in that matter, we do have the Amtrak station right here in the parking lot. So there is parking lot. We're working with them to see if we can cover some of it or all of it. So just like the wing place used to do. So we will take care of parking. So all those things are in like conversations right now. So when we open with like the easiest way for our customers to come to see us.
That's awesome, dude. When are you guys going to open?
Our plan is we're shooting for mid-September.
Wow.
So yeah. It all depends on our approvals, license, health department, and all that. Which, with the experience we had with our first location, it was they couldn't be more helpful. So, Dad was here, kind of at the beginning of it when we first started with Guajiros a few years ago, and to the city council, they kind of helping out with the licenses, and he was able to do everything within like an hour and a half.
Wow.
Well, in Miami, 2-3 meetings will take you a week or to 2 weeks. It's like, so when coming from there to this, it's like it's amazing though. So we're super happy. So we're just waiting on those permits and then finish cleaning up, moving all our finish painting, do our art. If you've been to Guajiros, you know that there's a lot of art on the walls that belongs to either friends of ours or Miami artists that either donated the art just for us or pieces of our travels, both my two brothers and myself. So we got to find a spot in the new location to all that. So basically just making the place look pretty, getting our licenses, and as soon as we have them, we'll be ready to go.
Are you going to have happy hour?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely happy hour. Again, it's a million things in our plate.
It's fluid. It's fluid.
It's fluid. Absolutely. We're looking for. I'm looking to see. So I'm the liquor part of the program. My brother Danilo is more of the beer side. So we're looking to see who we partner up with in terms of beers and maybe having a few on draft, which is something that we don't have right now in the other location.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so that's kind of like one of the ideas. We will always carry Toña, which is the Nicaraguan lager. It's our hometown beer. It's like what we drink when we go back home and on vacation. So that will always be. That's going to be our house beer forever.
How much is that going to be a pint? How much will that be a pint?
Come on, man. I don't know.
Because I'm going to be there drinking with
right
you.
Now, it's going to be good. It's gonna be a good price though. Like right now, I think it's like $4 a bottle or something like that. So yeah, $4 or $5. It's not expensive though. It's just delicious though. So don't quote me on pricing yet. But
okay, I know.
We'll have good. Yeah. We remember we don't consider ourselves like a higher tier restaurant though. We're a Miami Eatery. We're like a relaxed kind of place. So we try to reflect that in our pricing. Obviously our costs and all that has a lot to do with it, but we try to keep our prices like very approachable, but not like too expensive. So just because the concept that we have, so you'll see that reflected in the cocktails, in the beer selections and everything. So we should be good.
Are you going to kill it? Last question for you: what's the transition like? Are you going to close down this location for a little bit to open this one?
So right now, we are already in transition mode. Right now we are closing. We're still opening at 10 right now on the current location. Open and we close at 4. Usually we were staying open until 8. Apologize to anybody who has come and see the sign that we're closed. Really apologize for that. But it's like I said, it's our business. It's only us. So right now, we open at 10 every day. We close at 4. And and then we come over here. Like my brothers come to the location and clean, paint, do their thing. During the weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we close at 6. So, but during the week, Monday through Thursday, 10 to 4, and then we come over here and then to the new location and clean up.
Respect, man. Respect
So,
the hustle.
Nonstop.
Yeah, dude. I respect your hustle, dude. I'll be there day one. I think the community's going to be there day one. Their food, dudes, is banging. It's priced good, like he said. His cocktails, and I've had the cocktails the last couple times I've been there, have been really good. I mean, you guys, if you have not had Guajiros, it's now going to be in the heart of town. You're going to love this joint. And, I mean, having a rum drink. Are you there now? Is that the new spot now?
I am cleaning up. I'm paying.
Can I see it, or you want to keep it on the DL? Can I see it, or can you want to keep it on the DL?
That's right.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
But this is the.
I love it.
Right now.
I love it. Harvey, thank you. I wish you the best of luck. You have a good one, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Harvey. Guajiros, guys. It's going to be. It's awesome. It's awesome. They're expanding. They need the outside seating. He straight up said it. COVID made us need outside seating. And dudes, I've had his food. It is good. I've probably been there 12, 15 times. I mean, really good spot. And kudos to them. And how about this for some food flavor? Do you guys like food? I like food. Barbara Lundgren, we will get to you in a matter of moments, Barbara Lundgren. On the I Love CVille show. Barbara Lundgren's going to join us to talk weddings and events and what's going down in that world. But if you like food like I do, and you know I love food, right? There's a little battle that's happening down West Main Street. How many Hispanic or Latin restaurants are on West Main Street? Think about it. There is a considerable amount of Hispanic or Latin-centric restaurants on West Main. I'd say it's at least, right, 4 or 5? I mean, you got the one in the old Northern Exposure building. You got Guajiros. You got the one in the old Horse and Hound building. What am I missing? I mean, that's turning into a very, a strong alley, a competitive market right there. And West Main in general, when you go from Route 29 next to Coors Brothers. Now, El Carbone is in that shopping center. And El Carbone, where Guajiros currently is at, El Carbone is the real deal. El Carbone is banging. Okay, so I love El Carbone. That's some of the best chicken in Charlottesville at El Carbone. But if you go from 29 and next to Coors Brothers, and is that the Woodbrook Shopping Center? I think that's the Woodbrook Shopping Center, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you go from there to West Main Street, to the old Parallel 38, to the old Latois, you're going into the lion's den when it comes from like competitive go-to badass restaurants. I mean, you got Maya built Midtown, Maya and Blue Moon Diner. You got Public. Daniel Kaufman and Public got a bona fide restaurant. One of the best happy hours in Charlottesville is at Public, bar none. It's impossible to get a seat, but it's literally one of the best happy hours. You got Maya, you got Public, you got Oak Heart Social. I mean, you got Tavern and Grocery. You got Little Star. You got Farm Bell Kitchen. You got the 3 or 4, you got the, what is it? It's not El Puerto that is there now. There's 2 or 3 Mexican restaurants that are there now. Judah, do you know their names?
You thinking of El Jarapeo?
El Jarapeo. Can we go to the Judah camera and get you saying that? I mean, you have an affinity for Mexican food, don't you?
I love Mexican food.
What, isn't it? There's 3 or 4 options along that corridor, aren't there? There's El Jarapeo.
I never go up West Main.
Well, you should. You should.
But
The food is legit on West Main. What is the other option? Someone put it in the feed here. It just had a name change. It used to be the old Horse and Hound. There's a Mexican restaurant there. It has a fantastic patio. Do you know what I'm talking about, Judah?
I do know what you're talking about, but
I'm just
you're
Googling it right
it's
now.
not El Jarapeo?
No, El Jarapeo was in the old Northern Exposure building.
Okay, yeah.
Los Jarochos. I just Googled it. But Los Jarochos just had a name change. It's not Los Jarochos anymore. El Jarapeo is the one. Los Jarochos had a name change. So I'm just saying, it's like it's going to a different level of food. You have to stay. It's a different standard, and I think the marketplace along West Main is going to go in with a much more. Oh yeah, thank you. Lauren puts on the feed. Good call right there. How am I missing the stalwart Continental Divide? And multiple people putting on the feed. Multiple people. I'm sorry. Multiple people putting on the feed. Jerry, freaking Continental Divide. All right. So you have Continental Divide. You have Los Jarochos. It's not Los Jarochos anymore. It's still a Mexican restaurant. You have El Jarapeo, and you have Guajiros. That is a competitive street. There's Fried Chicken Alley, and Fried Chicken Alley is Kentucky Fried Chicken, is Raising Cane's. What else is in Fried Chicken Alley? Jog my memory. Raising Cane's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Popeyes is on Fried Chicken Alley. There's one more on Fried Chicken Alley, Judah. Come on, you know Fried Chicken Alley.
There's the Creamery. Those three. I think those are the only three fried chicken places right there.
No, there's.
And why would anybody go there when you've got like so many great fried chicken?
Because you just happen to be on that side of town. What is? Drawing a blank. You guys know what I'm talking about. You have a Fried Chicken Alley that's bubbling, that's Mexican or Latin restaurants along West Main Street. Seriously, KFC, Popeyes, Zaxby's, Bojangles. I mean, that's a competitive space. Let's get Barbara Lundgren on the line. I could talk food all day. We'll go Barbara Lundgren. J-Dubs, it's ringing right now for Barbara. She is the fairy godmother and the star of the Virginia Wedding and Event Showcase. We still have some sports to talk about, including the University of Virginia, what the ACC will do. We have Miller's Minute and a preview of tomorrow's show to get to. And we have a couple of new tidbits we're going to get to. Judah, I'm reaching out to Barbara now on the show. Her program airs Thursdays at 10:15 a.m. on the I Love CVille Network. It's presented by Barb and Keswick Vineyards. Judah, she is on the line. And Barbara, before I go in, can I show you something, Barbara?
Sure.
Are you ready for this?
I hope so.
You know how we've been, whenever we pass the computer back and forth, we have to like have.
You got the
I got the earbuds, Barbara, look.
Earbuds, yay.
I got them.
Awesome. We're all set tomorrow.
Yeah, so I have one for you over here, and we're not going to have to do the jump rope with the headphone wire.
Well, there are three of us there tomorrow, you know.
Oh, exciting.
Right. Iris is coming in.
So we're wearing masks.
Yeah, we're wearing masks.
Okay.
Tomorrow's my very special edition,
Ooh.
The barbed wired edition tomorrow.
I like it.
Yeah, so my barbed wired ladies are coming in. Well, Iris is coming in. Iris Luck, who's been with me since 2008, and Lauren Scully is going to join us. She's been with me since 2010. And Vicki Collins is going to join us after that by Skype. Lauren and Vicki by Skype, and she's been with me since 2012. No, I got them backwards. Anyway, we'll get it straight tomorrow. They came in as Vicki and Lauren came in as interns. So we're going to talk about the progression of the internship program and how we train and all the fun that we've had over the years.
That is awesome. The Virginia Wedding and Event Showcase tomorrow morning, 10:15 a.m. on the I Love CVille Network, presented by Barb and Keswick Vineyards. How was the weekend? Did we have any rumblings, any new weddings?
There's some rumblings, but I still have to get the lowdown.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
I'm not reporting just yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How are your colleagues, your friends? You guys feeling better in spirit? You seem better in spirit.
Oh, it's always up and down. We're still hanging in. I mean, that's usually the response. How are you doing today? Hanging in. But we're staying in touch with each other and hanging in. Yeah. Waiting to see what the fall is going to bring. I think there's still some changes going on.
Are you seeing the bookings for the fall holding or changing to next year?
I'm hearing that they are holding. Well, in the last week, the ones I've spoken to are holding. The week before that, we were hearing more postponements.
Okay.
So I think it's still all over the place.
It's interesting. I feel like so there's different barometers of how the economy is doing. I feel like with bookings at weddings, much like the attendance at, say, a Disney World or a Busch Gardens, when people are confident to go like at a Busch Gardens or confident to go to a wedding, I feel like consumer confidence and we having this under control is heading in the right direction. So maybe that's a positive, Barbara?
We're hoping so. We're hoping so. I shared with you last week that I've had a few consultations with new couples, and they're looking at 2021 as 150 people, and the normal vision. Yeah, we're looking at a strong 21. Everyone's saying we're going to hit the ground running in 21. We're still going to be all over the place for the fall, I believe. You know, the football, the this, the that, everything you've been talking about, it will impact us. Yes.
All right, one other surprise for you, and I mentioned this to you, so not a surprise to you, but a surprise to the viewers. We will have my little boy on air at the end of your show tomorrow. I'm so excited.
We will. I know, and I have a surprise for him.
Oh, you do? For Trey?
I do. I always have surprises. Yes.
She does. She always comes with chocolates for me and Judah. She has with a new shirt with a positive message every time she arrives. And she literally is like a sunshine when she comes into our studio. And like brightens everything. Nice. I mean it, genuinely mean it. We both, and I don't want to speak for Judah, but he would echo this. We enjoy our time with you. And we look forward to seeing you and your girls tomorrow, Barbara.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a very special day for us. And thank you.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. You have a good one.
You as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I love that lady. I love Barbara Lundgren. Virginia Wedding and Event Showcase tomorrow at 10:15. It's just a genuine and beautiful snapshot or lens into the Virginia wedding and event industry. She's just kind of opening it up and saying, "This is us. We're real. We're human. We've been, struggling with some COVID issues and some cancellations, but we're going to survive. We're going to come out of this stronger than ever." And 2021 for that industry. I'm going to knock here on fake IKEA. So that's knocking on some fake IKEA. 2021, the best year yet. Demand's going to be through the roof. You're going to have so many brides and mother-in-laws and moms in 2000 this year that pushed their wedding and punted either to Q3, Q4, the fall or the winter of this year, or they punted their wedding till next season. And you still next year. And you still have the people that are going to get married next year. So hopefully, knocking on fake IKEA, you see the Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays and being full on the calendar, and you see some of these days that otherwise would not have bookings to get one, and maybe you see some double bookings on really hot days, and the industry recovers and has its best banner year yet. And I would love to see that heading into 2021 start this fall. I would love to see that. I would love to get an announcement for them for what UVA is going to do. We don't have an announcement yet for fans in the stands. We do not have an announcement yet for fans in the stands. And this is a natural segue, guys, and leave your comments in the comment section. I will get to your comments here in a couple of minutes here on the I Love CVille Show. Give it a like, give it a share if you're enjoying today's program. If you do enjoy today's program, the only thing I ask in return is if you like and share the show. So we don't have a word on whether or not fans are going to be in the stands. I think can't we just say that there's going to be no fans? I mean, the Big Ten and the Pac-12, two of the Power 5 conferences in college football, the Big Ten and the Pac-12 have already canceled their season, right? They've already canceled their season. The ACC, the Big 12, and the SEC are still going, right? So if two of the five, 40%, The Big Ten and the Pac-12 have canceled. You know there's outside pressures and forces to manage and shorten and maybe postpone the football season. So the tea leaves would say you're not going to have any fans in Scott Stadium or Lane Stadium. The tea leaves would say that. Just make the damn announcement already and say you're not going to come to the stadium. And if you do that, you have a flood of hotel rooms, and these hotel rooms have been booked or held because fans still have the hope or pipe dream that they're going to Scott Stadium to watch the Who's beat up on somebody. Just make the announcement. Make the announcement. And then open up the hotel rooms. And if the hotel rooms become open, then those hotel rooms could be a jump start or a little bit of kindling, a little bit of fuel, some twigs, some branches to light a fire for the wedding industry going into the end of this year and starting 2021. They need the hotel rooms to book the weddings. I don't know. Just make the announcement. And on the football note, respect to the ACC, the SEC, and the Big 12 for trying to play football. There's literally a doctor from Duke that is the medical guy. He's the Fauci of the ACC. There's a doctor from Duke who's essentially the Fauci of the Atlantic Coast Conference. And this guy's going on record, straight up saying on record, we're safe to play football. I mean, a doctor from Duke, a renowned specialist, is straight up saying it's okay to play football this fall. I mean, I'm just going to scratch my head, and I'm not going to go down this road because this topic has been politicized on so many different levels. But do you not feel every single day we're getting a different kind of news about COVID-19? Some days, COVID's traveling on the grocery bags. We got to leave the grocery bags in the garage for 24, 36, 48 hours. It's traveling on your shoes. It's going on your shoes. We can't touch the grocery bags. We can't touch the packaging that comes from Amazon. We cannot touch the cardboard boxes from Amazon. We have to strip our clothes immediately in the garage. We don't have to burn the clothes, but they have to be stripped in the garage and go immediately into the washing machine. No, we don't have to burn them, but they have to go in the washing machine. We can't touch the grocery bags. We got to wear a mask. He's got to wear a mask. She's got to wear a mask. We don't have to wear a mask. This organization said we do. This one said we don't. Now we do. We have to register for an app. We have to get on this app from the Commonwealth of Virginia. This app says we have to register so we can do contact tracing and track people being healthy. We have to stay 6 feet apart. We can have 75% capacity in restaurants. Now it's back to 50. We can have weddings to this level. We can have events to this level. No, we got to throttle back. We're going to get tattletales and snitches who get stitches on taxpayer money to make sure you're doing this all right. I mean, do you not feel every single day it's something else and it's a different kind of news? It's a different kind of like, it's just like, turn it off. I don't know. Crazy. Patty Zeller is going to have her show, What's Barking Local, on the I Love CVille Network at 3 o'clock today. Her business, Animal Connection, is expanding from McIntyre Plaza behind CVille Coffee. She's expanding next to Brazos Tacos. She is a fabulous visionary of a businesswoman who is very much a social entrepreneur or a conscious capitalist. A social entrepreneur or a conscious capitalist is committed to running a business in the black, a for-profit business, but she does it in a way where she gives back to the community. And she does that through Dog Fest. She does that through giving back to charities and nonprofits. She does that by giving back to people in need, like the restaurant wait staff and back of the house and front of the house team members who lost their jobs because of COVID. She was finding ways through her supply chain to give them free dog food and cat food It's a pillar of the community. Her show, What's Barking Local, 3 o'clock on the I Love CVille Network. We're going to get to Miller's Minute in a matter of moments. Before we do, let's get to your comments. So a lot of comments on Fried Chicken Alley. Ladies, thank you very much. I see a number of ladies that are watching the show that literally love some fried chicken, and I love that aspect about you guys. Vanessa Parkhill, she says Zaxby's. Kelly Lewis chiming in as well on our battle along West Main Street with Los Jarochos. She's exactly right. Continental Divide. So you have on West Main Street. West Main Street is, here's an analogy for you. Lee Elberson of Claiborne Education would appreciate this. Here is an analogy for you that you would see on the Charlottesville SATs. What's the perfect score for SATs now? When I was doing it, it was 1,600. I got a 1,480. It was, I don't know, is it 2,400 now? I think it's 2,400 now, right? Am I right on that? Anywho, here's the analogy. Latin and Hispanic food is to West Main Street as fried chicken is to Route 29, that little corridor on 29. You have Los Jarochos, Continental Divide, Guajiros, and El Jarapillo. All of those within a block and a half. And then Fried Chicken Alley, you have Kentucky Fried Chicken, you have Zaxby's, you have Raising Cane's. Do you have Bojangles there? Is there a Bojangles there? There's a Popeyes there. Okay? So those two extremely food-centric competitive districts. Thank you guys for helping fill in the blanks for me there. I certainly appreciate that. Other comments coming in. Carol Thorpe, we will get to your comment here in a matter of moments. Carol Thorpe's comment, and Carol, I'm going to paraphrase this. Carol, I love when you offer perspective on the show. She said, last night I tagged you with the info to my comment on your show yesterday that I promised to send you about opting out of Albemarle County's ambassador program. It's important to emphasize, Carol Thorpe says, that businesses in Albemarle County can choose to opt out of this ambassador program where they do not get policed. That is valuable information, Carol. Thank you. I'm going to highlight that again on the show. You can opt out, according to Carol, and I think Rob Schilling has done some good perspective on this, out of this program if you're a business in Albemarle County. So, Carol Thorpe, thank you for highlighting that for us. Judah, it was a good show. Anything on your mind before we get out of here, before we get to Miller's Minute?
There's a lot on my mind, but
What's on your mind? What's most on your mind?
I'm just thinking about all the news you've been.
How about what jumps out most to you? Any A12? How about the A12 anniversary?
I mean, haven't really thought about that. Doesn't really affect me unless they take my parking spots. I hope it goes well.
Patty, the event. Patty says, how long does the event go in Charlottesville? The event goes to 7 o'clock. Beth Dunlop Marcus is, and Beth, we love when you watch the show. Huge fan of Beth Dunlop Marcus. She is a tremendous ambassador for the animal community. And I think, Beth, you currently have more dogs than anybody else in Charlottesville, which I love. I give you props for that. Beth says, Patty, I smell trouble. Steer clear of downtown. 4th Street's closed, Beth. We'll show them that photo. If you're just tuning in, we did a recap. In fact, I'll do Miller's Minute by Scott Wagner. I'm going to give Scott Wagner some love, the presenting sponsor of Miller's Minute here in a matter of moments. But you got the 4th Street photo up. Look at the screen, guys. Look at the screen. So that's 4th Street. Heather Higher Way is blockaded off. So that's currently right now. There's what appears to be a peaceful event going on in Market Street Park. So that's going on now. The August 12th anniversary, and this will lead us into Miller's Minute, JW, is presented by Scott Wagner of Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. And yes, gosh, Fried Chicken Alley is fantastic. If Julian Freeman is watching the show, Julian, if you're watching the show, or Curtis, what was the name, the funny name that we came up with, Fried Chicken Alley? Clay, I love Clay. Clay says it's the chicken strip. It's the chicken strip. George Payne says Popeyes, Raising Cane's, and Zaxby's. And Vanessa Parkhill just said, and don't forget, Jerry, that you're going to have a Chick-fil-A coming to the old Burger King space in Barracks Road. So she's so right. Didn't I do something on this for I Love CVille, Judah? I'm going to I Love CVille right now and doing fried chicken. I know you played the Wagner promo bit already, but that was my bad. That was not your bad. I'm doing a little ADD here and going on to Fried Chicken Alley. What was the name for Fried Chicken Alley that we had, Julian Friedman, if you're watching? I would love to hear your perspective on this. The chicken strip is what Clay is saying it should be called. So Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's, Zaxby's, Popeyes, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Dudes, that's 5 fried chicken joints in under a mile. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's, Zaxby's, Popeyes, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Who's going to win that battle, do you think, Judah? Do you have a pick in the fried chicken wars on the chicken strip? Do you?
Do not have a pick, but I'd go with the old standby KFC.
Over Chick-fil-A? I think Chick-fil-A is going to dominate. I have on good authority commercial real estate brokers watch this program. Someone get Lee Hughes in the mix. I love Lee Hughes. Lee Hughes' jumper is wet. That dude can stroke a jump shot from downtown. Lee Hughes is a commercial real estate broker. Someone tag him in the mix here. I have from good authority that the businesses that do the most revenue from a food and beverage standpoint in the city of Charlottesville, I have from good authority, it's the Chick-fil-A's. I mean, the Chick-fil-A on Lowe's, on Route 29 by Lowe's, and the Chick-fil-A on Pantops. If you've ever been there, those two places are nuts. They are a zoo. They are so crazy that the drive-through lanes split into 2. And the Chick-fil-A literally has a team member or 2 team members working outside in the drive-through under the sun, working the drive-through line to expedite things, and still they do it quickly. So I have through good authority that those 2 Chick-fil-A's from a gross revenue standpoint do the most revenue from a food and beverage standpoint in the area. Starbucks on Pantops. The Starbucks also is ridiculous from a revenue standpoint. The Starbucks, the drive-thrus wrap around the corner. The one on Pantops is ridiculous and literally will wrap around the Starbucks parking lot and into the giant shopping center. It is so ridiculous. So I think Chick-fil-A is going to win the fried chicken wars on the chicken strip or fried chicken alley. Number 2 is the one that's the tough call. Which of the ones, Zaxby's, KFC, Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, or Raising Cane's has the most burn rate or the most money in the bank? I don't know. Number 2 has got to be what? KFC, right? I mean, doesn't KFC have the most burn rate? I mean, Raising Cane's is more a local chain than a national, global chain. Popeyes, I don't know. We'll see. All right, Miller's Minute, brought to you by... Miller's Minute, brought to you by Scott Wagner. Scott Wagner, Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. They are changing people's lives. Judah, you got that on screen? Scott Wagner, Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. Sports medicine, chiropractic care, physical therapy. Dr. Wagner has your back. Next 60 seconds, I'm going to kind of reflect how I started the show. August 12th, it's the anniversary. We have made change, and most of that change in August 12th in the last 3 years has been conversation-oriented. There's been some progress in affordable housing. Still, the affordability of this community has never been worse, in my opinion. It's just expensive to live here. I think we're also going to have a pinch from a job standpoint. A lot of the jobs that we're going, a lot of the blue-collar jobs, a lot of the jobs in the restaurant world, the frontline jobs are going away and being replaced. And I don't think those jobs are going to come back again. And they're going to be replaced with jobs that are much more tech and STEM backed type of work. So my fear is in a community that I love, I'm a father, I'm a husband, in a community that I love, I want it to be as diverse as possible. My fear is COVID is taking the jobs that were going to folks that were already struggling, jobs that were held by folks in Charlottesville that were already living on the margin and living paycheck to paycheck. Those jobs are evaporating. And they're being replaced by jobs that are very tech-oriented. And my fear is, as the affordability of this community becomes more difficult and less manageable, which is what's happening, and as the jobs, frontline jobs that were tied to in-person food and beverage or in-person at UVA, as those jobs go away, you're going to get a community that is going to have higher earning potential, that's going to look the same, white, and it's going to be very similar in socioeconomic demographic. I don't like that. I don't like that from my kid. So we got a long way to go. Keep the day close to your heart, and the rallies happen throughout today, but we got a long way to go. That's the I Love CVille Show. I'm Jerry Miller. Thank you for joining us. And use Ting. Get the link on screen. The most affordable way you can get Ting fiber internet is through this link, ilovecville.ting.com. You're saving $288. Guys, get the best internet at a time where you need internet at home to be the best more than ever, and that's now because of COVID. ilovecville.ting.com. I'm Jerry Miller. It's the I Love CVille Show. Be easy.